Asia, specific Thailand. And we'll be looking at the use of telemedicine to screen for CMV. Oh, sorry. So, same picture that we've shown everybody. This is the world. Where are we? We are on one of these two coasts. Thailand is somewhere down here, and this is a bigger picture over here. And then the project that I'll be working at, or the site I'll be working at, is in Chiang Mai, up in northern Thailand. So I didn't know anything about CMV retinitis before I proposed this project. It's just not something we learned about in high school. So just a little overview of what it is. CMV is an opportunistic infection. They see it in immunocompromised patients. This study will be looking at HIV patients, but it's also found in other immunocompromised patients like transplant patients. And it is one of our aids to finding opportunistic infections. It accounts for about 90% of infectious retinopathies in HIV patients. There's other conditions that are more prevalent, but this is the most common infectious. It's also the most common cause of blindness in HIV patients. And it's most commonly seen in patients with CD4 count less than 50. It can be seen at higher CD4 counts, but usually associated with CD4 counts less than 50. And at one point in time in the US and in Europe, it was very, very common. Affected about 21 to 44% of AIDS patients, but since the introduction of HAART in the mid-1990s, it's gone down a lot, and it's to the point where we don't really see it that much here in the Western world, but it's still very common in developing countries. So clinical manifestations, most patients are actually asymptomatic when they present for care. And you know that patients are asymptomatic usually that's not necessarily a good thing because the disease will be going on for a while before it's actually detected. But some common symptoms that they could present with include flashes and floaters, which is most common, but that's also just a general sign that something's wrong with the retina. And also some of blurred vision. Usually it starts unilateral, progresses to the other eye, although sometimes patients can present with diseases in both eyes. And like I said, it can lead to blindness and also retinal detachment, which is also another cause of blindness. So diagnosis, right now the gold standard, at least in this country, is to diagnose with indirect ophthalmoscopy, which again, I didn't know what this was until I proposed this project, but basically an ophthalmologist will take this something like the minor tabs with a really bright light on top of it. They take a lens and they shine this light into the patient's eye, tell them not to blink, and then we try to visualize the back of the retina. And these are the characteristic findings of CMV retinitis that they're looking for. So you see the lesions of the white plaques that are distributed characteristically along the distribution of the retinal vessels, as well as some hemorrhages, which you can see here, and some of the intralesional. And then another sign that we look for is a perivascular exudate, which I don't know what that looks like, but I'm seeing it somewhere here. Okay, and then the treatment is basically gene-shaped HAART, because like I said, it's an opportunistic infection. The main goal is to reconstitute the immune system, get CD4 count up. And while we're waiting for that to happen, you can also use anti-CMV treatments, including ganciclovir. You want to use one form of systemic therapy, which could be IV ganciclovir, or I think what's commonly used here is oral ganciclovir. And then also intraocular injections, and you continue that until the CD4 count is greater than 100 for about 3 months. And you also want to have serial examinations of the eye to make sure that the disease isn't progressing. So yeah, this picture of an intraocular injection, and then this is an intraocular ganciclovir device that you can implant into the eye, and you can avoid the injections. Okay, so like I said before, even though it's not that common here in America, CMV retinitis is still very common in developing countries, especially countries that have a high burden of HIV, more access to HAART medications, and also have a low number of ophthalmologists, because it is a very specialized field, so a lot of countries don't have a high number of specialists who can diagnose this condition. And it's estimated that in Thailand, about up to 15% of AIDS patients have CMV retinitis, and about up to a third of patients in Southeast Asia may have CMV retinitis. And this happens for a lot of reasons, one was just mentioned, but also patients tend to present late for treatment. Over half the patients in Thailand will be put on card when we see four counts below 100. And also the few ophthalmologists that they do have tend to be concentrated at these specialized hospitals in urban areas, so it's hard to diagnose people in these poor settings, such as rural areas. And also, a lot of people won't, even if they are referred to an ophthalmologist, may not actually follow up with that referral if they symptomatic notice the point going for this treatment. And I have a little bit about HIV in Thailand, which I only put in here because this is going to be seen in HIV patients. But the first report case was in 1984 among 2 men who had sex with men. And then through a series of different programs, they instituted a national surveillance program in 1989, as well as the Universal Coverage Project in 2002, which was obligated the government to provide treatment for patients who have HIV. And like I said, Thailand's estimated to have the highest prevalence of HIV in Southeast Asia, about 1.3% of the adult population. And 65% of the patients who should be on CAR actually are. I think Julian talked about this in her last lecture, but in this country, almost all patients who have HIV are initiated on CAR. In Thailand, they use a cutoff of 350. Yeah, and like I said before, about 60% began treatment when received for about 100. And it's a high burden on the health of the sector. So the situation has led to the question that Mike was trying to answer is how do we expand screening for CMV retinitis in the setting of high HIV burden and also few specialists who can be used to diagnose the condition. And like I said, the standard treatment in the diagnosis in the U.S. is to use ophthalmologists, but there's not as many, they're not distributed throughout the country, that it's very difficult to use the standard in developing countries. And also because CMV tends to affect patients who have a low CD4 count, it'd be ideal if we can institute screening at the primary care level when they're diagnosed with a CD4 count less than 100. So one area that we're looking at is using telemedicine to image the retina, and send those images to an ophthalmologist, either in the city or abroad, who can diagnose CMV retinitis. And there's some precedent for this. So right now in rural areas of the U.S., telemedicine is being used to diagnose diabetic retinopathy with a lot of success. There's also previous studies done by the group that I'll be working with that has shown that you can use remote imaging to diagnose CMV with a pretty high sensitivity and specificity for the disease. The problem with the previous study was that it was done at an ocular infectious disease clinic, which is not representative of most clinics in Thailand. So the next level step that we're taking is to look at using this at HIV clinics in Thailand. And the previous project also used a mosaic image, which takes multiple images of the retina and stitches it together to provide a comprehensive view of the retina, which is shown here. The problem with these cameras is that they can be very expensive, and they need specialized personnel who know how to use them to actually be able to take the image. So the group that I'm working with has also been working with a professor at UC Berkeley to develop an iPhone camera attachment, and this is capable of imaging the retina also, but it's only able to take a central image, so this one right here. And the question is, can this central image alone be used to diagnose the condition, and how does that compare to the mosaic images from the previous study? So this study will be an observational cross-section study, and I just got here like a couple weeks ago, so I haven't really been working on this project yet. I'm under job eventually, so I'll just tell you guys what I plan on doing. So our first aim is to compare the sensitivity and specificity of that image versus the mosaic image. And we're going to be using indirect ophthalmoscopy as a gold standard to compare this against. Our inclusion criteria are HIV patients with CD4 count less than 65. I'm not exactly sure why we're using this number because we just started screening it when we were less than 100, but that was the inclusion criteria that household. So just using that. And each of these patients who are seen at the clinic will be evaluated first using indirect ophthalmoscopy by an ophthalmologist, which we'll be using as our gold standard. And then we also have images taken both of the central retina and of the peripheral retina. And then these images will be sent back to remote graders here who will have experience in diagnosing CMV retinitis, and they will be grading each of the images, both the central and mosaic, independently. And they'll be blinded to all information with regard to the diagnosis, to each other's findings, and also to any clinical information about the patient, which is going to get hard from introduction with the diagnosis. And then, yeah, we use that to calculate sensitivity and specificity. So this is our favorite table that we see a lot. And we have the gold standard on one side, and the top, and the diagnostic test, the central image, or also the mosaic image on the left. And then we just use that to calculate the sensitivity and the specificity here. And we'll be looking at the inter-rater and intra-rater variability using something called Chauvin's coefficient. The second part of our study I am actually much less familiar with. It's a cost-effectiveness analysis. And I haven't actually had any experience doing any cost-effectiveness research, so I'm not sure I'm the best person to be explaining what we're going to be doing, but maybe I can give you like a big idea, whatever big idea I have, that you guys have that same big idea. So cost effectiveness, we're looking at health outcomes versus how much money is actually put into getting that health outcome, or that health benefit. A lot of times we measure this health in terms of the quality of just life years or disability, just life years. So not just how many years we get, but also adjusting that for whatever morbidity might be associated with intervention. And for this, we'll be using a utility value of blindness of 0.43, which was found by another research group that set up to determine this number. And then the costs that we'll be assuming are the cost of personnel, so the ophthalmologists, who will be doing the screening, as well as the remote graders, etc. We'll be looking at diagnostic equipment, so the cost of ophthalmoscopy, and as well as the cost of the camera, and then also the cost of treatment for both the patients who have the disease, but also the patients who don't have the disease who are diagnosed false positive. And then we do something called a decision tree, which again, I don't think this is what's actually going to look like. It's kind of a simple version that I thought up last night. But basically, we're going to be trying to take patients through every possible outcome from the implementation and screening to whatever endpoint we have. And based on certain assumptions that we make, as well as the studies that we found with regard to specificity and sensitivity in the prior part of the study, we can try to determine how many people at the very end will be blind or not blind, and what kind of intervention they provide to get to that point. And with each step, there's certain costs associated with that. So by the end of this model, we'll be able to sum up all the costs at every one of these steps, and also look at the total blindness, or prevalence of blindness, and the dailies associated with that, and we'll be able to determine that relative what the cost effectiveness is. Yeah, that was not as confusing as it sounded. Okay, yeah, and like I said, I haven't actually done any work for this yet, and my mentor is not here right now, so hopefully by the end of the year I'll have more to report.
So, in your cost effectiveness analysis, which I won't ask much about, you have two outcomes, is it blindness or not blindness,
right.
But is there also a disability potentially associated with partially blind? Or
right. I'm assuming that there is, because in the other study that the group did, they looked at not just blindness and not blindness, but also the amount of visual acuity lost that they attributed to CMV retinitis. And that can be quantified by the number of lines that you miss on solenoid chart. So those charts that you go to the doctors and you pull an eye and they ask you to read the lines, they're going to be using that and seeing how many lines are lost missing the retinitis to determine sort of visual loss. Yeah. So, I'm not exactly sure how that will factor into the data. Yeah.
So how do you envision the information coming out of the study being actually used to change practice?
Right. So the study, like I said, is using one of the state-of-the-art cameras, but it's also proof of concept that if the central retinal image is enough, then we can be using this iPhone camera, which is only capable of imaging the central retina as a possible screen modality. So depending on the results of the study, we may be looking to try and do pilot studies for screening using an iPhone camera, which will be much cheaper and a lot easier to use.
Going back to your tree false
Yeah.
tree, how did you, so the true false is determined by the traditional method, is that
Oh.
reading the tree?
So that's going to be based on the sensitivity and specificity that we calculated in the previous part of the study.
Okay.
Yeah, so one's going to be for the central image and one's going to be mosaic. And using that and because the prevalence of the disease, we can determine how many are actually true positives, true negatives, false positives.
Thanks very much.